Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever order you prefer. This is Mr. Glenn Driving Math is the YouTube channel, and I really appreciate you tuning in today. All right, so we're going to learn factoring trinomials when the first term, the first coefficient of the first term is 1. What I mean by that is here, this is 1. The coefficients are 1. All right, and so I'm be going back and forth. There's a resource that I'm using to help me remember what the problems are. Okay, so this is a trinomial because there are 3 terms. What we're going to do is break down this trinomial into a binomial. All right, the way we do that is we look and see, we write down the factors of 12. So the factors of 12 that add up to be the middle term. So the products, or sorry, the factors of the last term that add together to give you the middle term is what you're going to use to create your binomial. So your trinomial being broken down into binomials, x plus 4. All right, and so you can even check it. All right, so x times x is x squared. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times x is 3x, and then 4x. 4 times x is 4x. So add that together, that's 7x. That's how you can check your work. All right. So we go over here and do the same thing. We're looking at the number 14. I'm going to break down the factors of 14. 1 and 14. 2 and 7. 1 plus 14 is 15. 2 plus 7 is 9. It's a positive 9, but we need to look at it for a negative 9. So we have to have 2 negatives, right? So a negative times a negative equals a positive, so we can use that. So we're going to have the letter P minus 2. That's what we're looking to. P minus 7. And this is your answer. And you can check this problem just like you check this problem. Okay? All right, so then we go here, this negative 30, the factors of negative 30 that add up to giving you 1W. So your factors 1, 30. So let's see, the middle term is a positive. So the larger number needs to be a positive. The smaller number needs to be a negative. So which of these numbers add together to give you 1? Is going to be negative 5 and 6. So it's going to be W minus 5 times W plus 6. All right. All right, so same thing here. We're going to look at negative 54. The factors that are going to be, one is going to be a negative, one going to be a positive. The positive one will be the smaller number because the larger number needs to be negative. So we got 1 and 54. The larger number is going to be negative. And 6 minus 9 is going to be negative 3. So we're going to use A plus 6, A minus 9. Right. Once again, look at the last term, writing down the factors. It's a positive, but the middle number is a negative, so you have to have 2 negatives. Negative 3 minus 3 is negative 6. So you get C minus 3, C minus 3. Since they're the same, you can just write C minus 3 to the second power. That's your answer. Processes continue to be the same. This is 35, factors of 35. All right. They do not, there's nothing that adds together to give you 11, so this is prime. All right. So moving on. Now this is the basics of factoring. A trinomial, basically. So we're going to solve plus 56 p to the second. So we need to find out what the greatest common factor is of the coefficients, and should be 7, and then of the variables should be p to the second. P to the second is the smallest, or it's the largest number that can be taken out of all of the variables, and so it's the greatest common factor of the variables. So I put these here so that we can divide easier. So p to the fourth divided by p to the second. P to the second, because you're subtracting 4 minus 2 since you're dividing with the same basis. 42 divided by 7 is 6, and 3 minus 2 is going to be 1. The bases are the same. These bases are exactly the same. Sorry, these bases are the same, but they have a different exponent, so we subtract. And 56 divided by 7 is 8. So what we're going to do is now we're going to see if we can factor this trinomial. And we're going to break down 8. 1 and 8, 2 and 4. 2 plus 4 give you 6. So p plus 2, p plus 4. Okay, and that's your answer. All right. Let's see. Moving along here. Five a to the third plus 40 a squared b b minus 45 ab squared. All right. So we look at 5, 40, and 45. The greatest common factor of the coefficients is 5. And then the greatest common coefficient, sorry, not coefficient, but the greatest exponent of the variable a is a. And this first term doesn't have a b, so we can't factor that out. So we're left with this 5a. And we're going to have a squared plus 8ab minus 9b squared, because these reduce and cancel out, okay? Or reduce to 1, shall I say? All right. So I'm writing in different color just because it may, I don't know, look better. All right, so here we go. So we're going to look to see for -9, the factors of -9 are going to be 1, 9, and then 3 and 3. Notice that the last term is negative and the middle term is positive. So they have to have we have to have one be negative and one be positive. So our larger number is going to be positive, which makes our smaller number the negative. All right, so we end up with 5a. We got a, right? And then we have another a, because we know that that's a times a is a squared. And then the last term has a b. So b times b is b squared. All right, so we're going to use -1 plus 9. All right, and so that we're checking it, this is negative AB, right? And then this is our 1, and then this 1AB, and then this is 9AB. Add those together, and you get 8AB, which is our middle term. And we just talked about A times A is A squared. 9B times B is or negative 9b. I'm sorry, negative b times 9b is negative 9b squared. Okay, so this is your answer. All right. Thanks for tuning in to Mr. Glenn. My students told me not to say that, so I do apologize for that. But anyway, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Hopefully it helped you understand factoring trinomials. Please leave a comment. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns. And share, subscribe, like, all that jazz. All right. Until next time. Bye.